In this module, we're going to look at how to use AI in Rider. AI is obviously huge right now, especially in our industry. And for transparency, up until now, I preferred to use OpenAI's ChatGPT in its own separate window, and I've been happy with it not knowing any more context than I tell it in the chat, and I just use copy and paste quite heavily from ChatGPT to the IDE. However, for this course, JetBrains have very kindly issued me with an AI assistant license so I could review it and cover it in this course, and I'm sold. Especially given I can pick the same ChatGPT 4.0 model that I use in ChatGPT anyway, and I get tons of IDE integration, which we'll dig into in this video. But first, let's have a quick look at the licensing details. So I've gone to jetbrains.com/AI. And this is a bit weird at the top. We've got these menu items, but if I scroll down just a little bit, I then get these menu items, which is more what I'm interested in. If we click on plans and pricing, this is how it currently is. So it's worth pointing out that this might change, and it probably will because this is fairly new. But currently at the time of recording, this is what it is. So you've got the Pro version, which is $6.58 a month. And obviously I'm looking at UK pricing. So that again will vary depending on where you're viewing this from. There's also this trial version, so you can trial it for 7 days for free. And there's an enterprise version as well. It's also worth pointing out, and I'm sorry for the sudden change to light mode, but if I change to this tab, there's this page, jetbrains.com, legal docs terms, JetBrains AI, service territory. Probably easier to find just Googling some of these terms, but this lists out the countries that it's available in, so it's not available in all countries. So if we jump over to Rider now, and I've just created an empty console application, so I've not done anything yet. So on the right-hand side, you can see this squiggly kind of icon. So that icon is the AI assistant icon, and we'll see that in a few different places. If it's not here, then again, on the left, look at this ... and it should be in here. When you click on it, if you haven't already got the plugin installed, there'll be a button here to install a plugin, and it'll talk you through installing it and entering your license details. I've already got it installed, so I've got this. Before we dig into this, if we do this ... and go to settings, then this takes us to the AI assistant settings. If we go to data sharing, this is worth pointing out. So this does mention here that as part of how it works, it is sending data to the cloud. If you're in a situation where you can't do that or your organization doesn't support it, then you can disable a plugin. But this does require actually sending the contextual information to the cloud. Going to project settings here, we can disable it for that particular project. If I cancel this, at the bottom, you've got this squiggly, the same squiggly icon. You can click on this and you can disable it for that project here as well. So if you don't want to disable it globally on your machine, but there's a particular project that you want to disable it for, then you can do that. So let's talk through some of the UI now. So there's only one option here in the AI assistant, and that's create new chat. If we click on that, then we get a kind of ChatGPT kind of interface where you can start typing questions, you can ask it things. But there's a few things going on here, so let's talk through the UI. So first of all, obviously we've got the prompt window here, but there's this above it which shows the current context the chat knows about. So the current program, I will talk about what this means shortly. You can add other files that are in your solution or commits or things to the context of this chat window. So that in itself is quite powerful, and also just being able to see what context it's dealing with. Also, this is amazing. You can choose the different model you're working with. So as I mentioned in the intro, I was previously using ChatGPT 4.0, but in the ChatGPT window. So using this, I've got confidence at a glance that I'm still using that same model. Or if I prefer to use Google's Gemini, I've got the choice there as well. You can even integrate with Llama, but I'm going to stick with 4.0. I might have said 0 before. 4.0, I think that's how you pronounce it. We'll come back to these things shortly. If we go higher up, then we've got all chats. So I can click on this, and we've got a list of all the chats in this session. I can click on that, right click, and I can say rename or delete if I want. But if I go back to it, double click. There's also this drop down, which we saw before when we went to settings. There's various settings here, like rename the chat, delete it, adjust font size. I made that bigger for this video so we could see it, but you get this, so you can like make it smaller. You've got your managed license and various bits. So let's have a look at this now. So as soon as we've created a new chart, we've got some hints and suggestions of other things we can do. And these are really powerful. You've also got hyperlink all features, which gives you a whole bunch of information about the different things you can do, like complete code. If you click on that, it gives you an example and talks through it. So this is a really good reference for what you can do. So if I close that, we'll demo some of those features very shortly. We are going to use this to write some code in a bit, but for now, let's just use it for a very simple thing. Let's say print hello dome train. So I'm doing this just so we can see what the output looks like. So again, it's a very ChatGPT kind of experience where you're having a conversation with it, and it's giving us a code snippet as well as an explanation. We can see in my initial prompt that it's got this attachment, and we can see the two things that came with it, the ones that were down here at the bottom. And also in the snippet, we've got these options. We can say copy to clipboard, insert the snippet at the caret, so in the code, or we can say create a new file from the snippet. Note that those attached files have now gone from down here, so you can add more context, but the chat already has the context in the chat from these two. So you can add more files if you want to add more context. So you've got this hash or pound symbol, depending on what you call it, and you can reference other things. So like this file, a selection, if you've got a selection, you can reference files and things. So if I did, let's just do the csproj. So that's actually done a mention of that thing. So I could say, explain this. And that's gone through. And because of that mention, you can see it's added that as an attachment as well to this prompt so that the model knows about that information. Because remember, this is sending this information to the remote service, and it's explained it as you'd expect. You can just type in hash and you get that drop down as well. You've also got this bookmark kind of icon, which says user prompts. If I click on that, then I think that's actually gone below my recording window, but there's just one entry saying add your prompts. If I click on this, then it pops this up. So then in here, you can say plus, you can add your own custom prompt. So let's say, tell me a joke, and put joke here. I'm hoping this is appropriate, but we'll see. And let's do that. So what you can do is click here and you can create your own custom prompts. If I do joke, then it's filled it in, and then I can submit that. That's actually pretty good. I'll keep that one. You can also, if you do that and choose add your prompts and go to joke again, you've also got this selection. So if I just do about selection and then save. So if you do it from here and just say joke, it always just does this code thing here. So that snippet doesn't seem to be designed for this. The snippet thing only seems to work if you right click and say AI actions and do it from here. So if I say, let's make that dome train, I'm going to regret doing this. And I select this and then I do and we'll come back to this AI actions again in a sec and choose joke. Why did Dome Train go to the coding camp? Because it wanted to stay on track with its .NET skills. I see what it did there. Not as funny as the last one, but anyway. So you get the idea. And you can see down here, it's got the selection as a context. That's what this does. So you can set up all your own different custom prompts. You've also got this drop down. You can say dump chat. If I click on this and just put chat, then this dumps out a text representation of that chat. So if we go back here, if you remember doing this, there was the AI actions. And this, you get this with most menus. So if I do Alt Enter, it's there. And you can, I've not done it, but you can assign a shortcut. So if you do that, this pops up. When you get that up, you get a bunch of options. You can say explain code, suggest refactoring, find problems with some code. You can start a new chat using the selection. So if you select a method or something, you can do that. You can get it to write documentation for you. You can do generate code, which I mentioned slightly before, but we're going to demo that soon with control and /. You can convert it to another language. And we've also got that prompt we created before and another hyperlink to take you to that settings page. So what we're going to do now is